Hi guys, it's Thomas here from COTbase.com. Welcome to this week's Commitment of Traders review. Today we're going to have a look at the 34th report of this year, and as usual we're going to start off with the changes in commercials positions, so here we go. As you may see, we've got feeder cattle on top of our list with a 41% change in commercial positions. You can see the change size over here. There's 22% change in large speculators, so pretty large changes this week, but as you can see on the chart, we do see greater changes in the past, so there's nothing too unusual about that. Nevertheless, it's a strong bearish COT change signal that may affect prices in the near term and push prices a bit down. Opening a 5 years chart, here we go. You can see that we are gradually moving away from bullish COT extreme levels. You can see that we had a bit of a rise in prices, although the major trend is still, of course, downwards. We could see a bearish extreme, but that's still a bit away. As you can see, I'm just pointing you out for commercials that mean they go down. Net short territory is about 2,000, 2,500 contracts net short. That's not the case. They're still net long. Together with large speculators, and there's only small speculators who are holding short positions at the moment. Of course, don't forget that feeder cattle is one of those few markets where a lot of commercial participants are actually amongst small speculators, so they should more or less be added up with commercials. Moving on to the next market, to soybean oil, we have a 29% change over there in commercials. Again, a bit larger than average change size, but you can see that we have already had prices move downwards in the last couple of days, and this means that we may be a little bit late with this COT change signal. So let's just jump over to the 5 years chart and see how extreme this market is. You can see we're moving away from a relative bullish extreme. And you can see how well that pinpointed the this low over here. There was of course, maybe a change in the trend back over here in July of this year, of last year, and you can see that this fallback has ended after we had this relative extreme in the market. It wasn't an all-time bullish extreme, of course. That's quite visible, but it's easy to see now that it's there. We're moving closer and closer to bearish COT extreme levels. You may see on this 5 years chart, if I'm showing you commercials, that we're way far from bullish extreme levels. So of course this trend can continue. We may see bit higher prices coming, but I think it's advised to keep your eyes on the COT report in the next couple of weeks, because if this trend in the COT report continues, we may see a major COT sell signal, COT extreme sell signal coming soon. RBOB Gasoline, we have a 28% change in commercial positions over there. Pretty large change size. If you look at the chart here, it's quite visible. Again, we're talking about a bearish COT change signal, and in this case you can see that we're not late with the signal. This is coming at a point in time when you can see prices have been rising pretty dynamically in the past couple of days, weeks. So this may tell us that we can expect a bit of a decline in the near future. A 5 years chart, here we go, will give us a more visible picture about the extreme situation. Well, we're still closer to bullish extreme levels. We're moving away from those levels right now, but there's nothing too unusual at the moment that I can talk about. So it's really the change signal, I would say, that is affecting or can affect the gasoline market right now. Moving on to large speculators COT extreme, we've got 3 markets. All the 3 markets I'm going to be talking about are in all-time zone. So all-time COT extreme in large speculators in S&P 500. Opening a 5 years chart, you can see that the extreme is unquestionably large. For commercials, there's still some space left to reach all-time levels, but in case of large speculators, it's there. And of course, don't forget, we're talking about indexes here, and it's a bit more tricky to use the COT report to identify tops and bottoms here, but stress levels can be measured, and they're high. They're really high, and I think we should be a little bit careful if we have built up some long positions on the way during this rally. How long this can continue is a big question. What we see right now is that large speculators, the big guys, have never in their entire COT history held so much positions long. So I think that's something that we have to emphasize, and it's a pretty clear warning about what lies ahead of us. I'm not saying that the rally is going to end right now. I'm just saying that it is there's a pretty decent stress level in the market right now. Moving on to the British pound, again we're talking about an all-time COT extreme there. Of course, we're not surprised to see such extremes in this market. Everybody knows what happened a couple of month ago, and of course we're seeing the action happening in the COT report. So it's a bullish COT extreme. The COT report tells us buy. Of course, I'm telling you to be cautious with your buying. Analyze the market from many aspects, and if you have a feeling that it's the end of the decline, well, hey, you got the report beside you. It's going to support the long position. Moving on to our last market, the S&P 400. Of course, we're not surprised to see both S&Ps giving us very similar COT extremes. Here we have commercials also in all-time territory, so all-time extreme, not only in large speculators but also in commercials. So the extreme, we can say, is even greater in this market. But of course, these differences are very, very small. It's nothing that should be counted. It's just interesting to see. Okay, so the same picture applies here as in the S&P 500. So I can't really add anything else to that. It's a big stress level in the market, and of course, we should have our cautious eyes on it. Okay, that's going to be all for this review. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope to see you next time. Take care. Have a good week. Bye-bye.